The games industry is getting scummier by the day.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I've got a few interesting stories for you. First up, it would take Warner Brothers a few clicks to preserve some real good indie games, but they just won't do it. Details are emerging from indie devs who are about to be impacted by the closure of Adult Swim games. I mean, come on, it's Adult Swim. They just do off-the-wall cool shit. I mean, hell, do you remember Too Many Cooks? Anyway, this is a bit of a disaster for preservation, and it's one that is...
I like preserving games, but I like preserving good games. And I'm gonna tell you the sad truth that a lot of you don't actually want to hear. 99.9% of indie games are absolute garbage. Probably not a single game worth your time is gonna get sunsetted at this point, okay? And most of them, if not all of them, are probably gonna be 2 clicks away on some site where you can download it for free. Because remember, if you can't own it when you buy it, then it's not exactly stealing if you download it on some site for free, because that's just the game they want to play. So I don't see this as a tremendous loss. I don't exactly even care about this too much.
Is entirely driven by a complete lack of interest from Warner Brothers. Elsewhere, though, well, PlayStation have revealed a kill switch that can remove content from your library. That's not good. It's not the usual thing where, you know, a game gets put...
I'm pretty sure most platforms have that, by the way. Steam has that. Again, you do not currently own absolutely anything that you buy on Steam, if you did not know, by the way. Yeah, you don't own the games, you literally buy a license to play that game.
Pulled off Steam, but if you own it, you can still download it, or at least it's still on your machine. No, this is quite bad. Also, Electronic Arts have accidentally wrecked the launch of a indie game that was 10 years in the making, and over at Activision, they've got the fun situation of 600 of their QA staff unionizing. So, yeah, that'll be real cool.
They're all about to get fired, because most of them are useless. Have you seen what's the point of the QA staff for Activision? I haven't. I'm pretty sure they're all useless. Now, you can say that it's not exactly the QA team that's useless in this case, because they probably do their job, but their job is arguably completely null and void if the developers don't fix the issues that the Q&A staff actually bring up. And since... well, we know that Activision devs are bad. We know that Blizzard devs are horrible. I don't even see what's the point of having a QA division for Activision Blizzard at this point. It's not like they fix anything anyway.
For the managers over there. There's so much going on in the industry right now, and our ability to actually cover it is possible because of the people who support us over at bellular.games. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined up over there. Of course, it's great seeing everyone in the members Discord. In addition to that, though, obviously, there is early access to content. You guys get loading screen published every single week.
Amazing.
Warner Brothers. And when we get into the new stuff in this story, it really is just needlessly cruel the way that this is being done, and it sucks for game preservation. Where we last left this story, right, was small radios, big televisions being delisted. Turns out, though, that's not the only game. There's another one, Fist Puncher from Team 2-Bit. They are about to be delisted from Steam at the behest of their publisher's parent company, and this is a scenario we're seeing being repeated across the whole Adult Swim game lineup. Here's just the quote directly from them. "We've asked that Warner Bros. Simply transfer the game to our Steam publisher account so it can stay active, but so far, they have said no, with the reason being they've made a universal decision to not transfer the games back to original studios, and they don't have the resources to do so. No, the transfer process is not complicated. It literally takes about 2 minutes from their end." That, I can confirm, is absolutely goddamn true, because, well, we have a game that we have, developed is
completely scummy. I understand this, and, well, everyone understands this, I guess. But I think there's a part that no one understands here or doesn't want to understand because, well, it doesn't excuse the scumbaggery here. It's the fact that Warner Brothers, obviously, as a company, wants to get rid of competition. And, well, if this actually hurts their competition, this is something that they're gonna do. This is literally a part of existing. And honestly, I'm gonna say, hey, if you're an indie developer, and you did not account for a possibility like this, Well, I hope you account for it next time, because, I mean, you kind of signed a paper that allowed them to do this without any problems whatsoever. So, it's a live and learn type of deal. The world is a dark place. This is completely normal. If some big gaming studio has the possibility to stifle their competitors, they're gonna take it. It's as simple as that. Sad, but it is what it is.
Was published with our publisher, Fellow Traveler. We all know the Steam backend. They're not bullshitting you when they say that. It is true. It takes about 2 minutes. It's very quick to do that transfer. That Warner Brothers is not doing it is insane. There is really no valid reason not to do so. It is absolutely simple. They are just doing the thing that is wrong. It's as simple as that. Now, there are a total of 19 games listed on Steam.
Yeah, it is wrong. But it's also a part of life. Hey, live and learn.
Being under Adult Swim games, you've got games that are actually massive hits, like Duck Game, which really means that the entire imprint of games from the Adult Swim sort of publishing group, that's going, and very much in a number of cases, in spite of the express hopes from their creators, it's one of those things. The company, Warner Bros., they're not interested in any of this. They're winding down Adult Swim games. They're getting rid of this stuff. What harm does it do to take the single-digit number of minutes to do a quick transfer? It's insane. Now here's some words from Studio Bean, who made a game called Sound Dodger. I sent them the Steam transfer link, explained that it takes 3 clicks, and they still refused, claiming it would only be fair to transfer no one's games because they can't do them all, which, by the way, is still completely insane. Now, they go on to say,
funny.
They, Warner Bros., are allowing me to republish to Steam as long as I remove any and all mention of Adult Swim in the game, including team members from the credits. To which they say, I'm all for games preservation, but this ain't it, chief. And that absolutely is the case, right? So republishing the game on Steam is a pretty insane way to do this. Whenever you lose your reviews, that is a humongous and vital asset that you have lost that is literally important to the Steam algorithm. So that's very, very damaging, and to remove people from the publisher in the game's credits is pretty insane. That just makes no sense. It's needlessly cruel. This is just bizarre stuff. Overall, this is not...
Man, again, boys, if you think this is needlessly cruel, you're not gonna survive in, above the McDonald's tier of employment, essentially, where, any kind of decision making is necessary, because this is common. Yeah, you can be a loyal worker of a company for 10 years, but the moment that you're on the firing list, your computer's probably locked before you even know you're on the firing list. It is what it is. Again, take this as a learning opportunity. Because this is not going to stop anytime soon. It's probably arguably going to get worse in the games industry, because the big publishers at this point seemingly kind of understand and are slowly crawling in the direction of, hey, we can actually, not just produce shitty games, we can also stifle other people from producing games if we get lucky and play our cards right. And this is exactly the outcome. Is it wrong? Yes. Can they do it? Yes. Will they do it? Yes. So that's why you should, again, probably use third-party websites where you can get things for essentially 2 clicks away. Because that's only fair in situations like this.
Not the worst case scenario. I mean, that they can republish is good, but the developers are not being left in a reasonable position here. Whenever you're republishing a game, you've kind of got no community behind you, years of review scores, achievements, guides, forums, all of those things that exist on your games like Steam entry, all of those being gone. That is just needlessly harming them. And this is all because whoever's running it at WB Games at the operation level is just not willing to take the slightest step. Again, as multiple people have said, and I can verify, it's a matter of a few clicks, and you're doing that for 19 games? And look, if somebody doesn't get back to your email about this, fine. That doesn't mean you suddenly have an excuse to not do it for anyone. This is literally just Warner Brothers deciding that these games, the style of game, doesn't fit their plan, but the thing is, they're not exiting this this in a gracious and respectful fashion, and that's just the wrong thing to do. Very simple.
I honestly don't know who expected Warner Brothers to exit anything in a graceful fashion after they have butchered DC Universe, after they have, well, ruined everything they have touched. Who is exactly expecting them to be graceful about anything at this point? Whew! Man, they're gonna be as little graceful as possible about anything they do at this point. Man.
The next thing that is definitely the wrong thing to do, and I suppose is just a bit spooky, is what's going on over with PlayStation. I don't think people like the idea that games can just be taken out of their libraries. In this case, it's Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is an upcoming character action game that is developed by Shift Up Games. It's published by PlayStation, and it's developed a bit of a cult following ahead of its release, which is going to be on the 26th of April. A 45-minute demo of the game appeared on the PlayStation Store, so that audience was very excited to try it out. It had seemed with this that there was no, like, big marketing beat. It basically looked like a shadow drop. Thing is,
look at those physics, boys.
It seemed with this that there was no like big marketing beat.
Look at this.
Basically,
bam.
Looked
bam
like
God. This game's physics are amazing.
A shadow drop. Thing is, though, it was then pulled from the store, so it seems that it was maybe set live early or something like that. Now, look, this is a pretty hyped game. Obviously, that means that people did get to download it. They downloaded it, they recorded gameplay footage. That's now floating around.
Yeah, imagine a game where you're a female protagonist and you're not ugly as a dog shit. Man, that is rare for the modern day gaming. Absolutely crazy.
The internet. But the thing is, PlayStation took a actually unprecedented step. I think that's the bit that matters here. This hasn't really been done in this way. They disabled the license for the demo as a PlayStation title, and that means that if you downloaded this game to your library, if you were connected to PSN whatsoever, the game would be unplayable. So yes, the actual removal of the digital license, that is the bit that matters. That's the bit that's fairly different here. This would mean that even if people were, say, mid-session playing the game, they just get booted and that's it, the game is gone. Now, this, importantly, is not what happened with Silent Hill PT, right? With that Konami delisted...
Wait. I don't understand. I don't exactly understand this. I think I'm missing some context here. Someone please explain to me. So, they put out a demo that was free to play. It was a demo, and then they took the demo away from people because reason doesn't sound even that preposterous to me. Am I missing something here? No one paid for the demo. The demo was free. People got it. People played it. And then PlayStation decided to take away the demo. How does that not make sense? What exactly is the bad part here? The idea that PlayStation can't take away the stuff that you click on? Yeah, but again, everyone can kind of do that. PlayStation's not exactly unique here. Now, PlayStation is kind of unique in the amount of shits they don't give about people when it comes to their games and whatnot. But doing this doesn't sound exactly like the greatest of issues. Am I missing something?
It from the store, but you could still play PT if you had it installed, which then led to that funny thing of people just selling a PS4 on the strength that the internal memory of the PS4 had a copy of PT. Thing is, though, if that copy of PT was there, you could play it. Here, though, the demo for Stellar Blade is simply gone. Now, almost certainly this will be back, and I suppose for many people they could say, look, this was a mistake. They're undoing their mistake. The demo will come up soon enough, right? It's also the case that this is not being done with anything that everybody has purchased, right? So it's not like a particularly evil or bad thing is happening. It's more the precedent that something in your library can just be disabled. That is something that people are not...
Not the first precedent even for this. This has happened like multiple times before. This is nothing new.
Necessarily comfortable with. Again, you're thinking...
Doesn't make it right, though. I think if you buy something, you own something, but again, if I buy something and you're telling me I don't know, own it, even though I bought it, then, I'm not stealing when I'm downloading it for free. And that's just something that these developers are going to have to deal with. Because they're not going to win against pirating. Pirating exists because, well, for a very, very small group of people, pirating exists because they actually don't have the funds to do things. But those people are honestly kind of super rare and in between. Most people don't play 50 games a month. Most people buy a new game every, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And well, if you have to dish out what is the equivalent of $10 a month, that's not probably the worst thing for almost anyone, right? But primarily, this only exists because of, a lack of quality, a lack of something, a lack of morals. That is why pirating exists in the first place, because it's a better alternative to what, well, the other side is offering. And the more scummier the game industry becomes, the more prevalent torrenting will again become. There was a time when it was big when it first came out. Then it slowly tickled down and whatnot. And, well, if they keep doing stuff like this, it's going to have a pretty big resurgency.
Like, in 10 years, in 15 years, what if things change, a server goes down, licenses expire, whatever it may be? Well, people would be worried. They would like to think that when they bought these games digitally, that that would kind of count for something. So essentially, it's dredging up a lot of those, I think, quite rightly held fears. Really, the potential is the thing that is scary. John Linneman, of course, you'll know him from Digital Foundry. The thing that he pointed out here is that the tech means that Sony has the absolute power over removing something from their ecosystem. As he says, this is highly concerning. They can choose to disable any license at any time for any reason, and there's not much you can do about it. Yeah, so it's that they can do that. It's that the kill switch exists. That is what is worrying to people. So that's essentially where we're at with this story. It's a concerning thing. Now,
Sony also has hypersonic missiles that can hit your house. And not just your house, but exactly the place you're sitting at right now. So, hey, you got bigger... If you're worried about Sony, them taking your games away is kind of not your biggest concern, honestly. Your biggest concern is becoming a randomly selected rocket test. That's your probably biggest worry if you think that this is the end of the world.
Obviously, whenever we buy game licenses, because that is, technically speaking, that's what we buy, those do come with terms and conditions, right? If you break them, then, yeah, your license can be revoked. Let's just say you buy a whole bunch of games in Steam, and then you do something to get your Steam account banned. What?
Oh, by the way, if you're someone who's mad because and you're saying, well, this doesn't happen with things that you purchase in real life, it does. That's the funny part. It does. Want to hear the best example that there is for this? It's shoes. Okay? So, shoes come with a warranty. 2, 3, 4 years, depending on what you buy. And, well, if you wear your shoes for a year and they break, something happens, blah, 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 and you go to the store and you want to swap them out, they're going to tell you to go and screw off. Why? Because you broke the licensing agreement that you got when you bought the shoes. And one of those things is, well, all shoes have this. Have you ever went outside when it was raining? If yes, then you are no longer equitable to have free repair or swap the shoes out because you went outside when it was raining. And the seller of the shoes explicitly says if you do that, well, you can't get them fixed or swapped for free. Have you went out when it was cold? Same thing. You cannot get your shoes repaired, fixed, because there is no warranty limit because you have broken it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this exists, but this exists for a multitude of things, okay?
Well, yeah. All those digital games are gone. Same will happen in PlayStation, Xbox, any of those things. So really what this story is doing is just highlighting something we've been discussing a lot, which is the implications for ownership, for preservation, and of course with new consoles being done without discs, we're pretty sure anyway, is what's going on with the refresh of the Xbox Series X. Obviously that's been going on with the PlayStation Slim and the PS5 discless. Yeah, if those discs are going the way of the dodo, then this is the only way that we will own games. And of course, my own little personal perspective there is, I'm just worried that less people will have Blu-ray capable devices, because seriously, if you have a good TV and you get the 4K Blu-ray for a movie, man, compare that to what you'll get in Amazon or Netflix, and you'll be kind of sad then, I think, that Blu-ray may fall out of fashion as less people have Blu-ray compatible devices underneath their televisions. Next then, we've got EA accidentally nuking a indie launch. This is a pretty damn rough one, so here's what happened.
Accidentally nuking?
EA put out Command & Conquer: The Ultimate Collection. It's a group of 10 games and 7 expansions that's...
Oh yeah, I remembered this. My friend linked me it.
Basically designed to make Command & Conquer approachable to new players. The idea is, here it is, it's 10 quid for 10 pounds.
Bro, Command & Conquer was so good. What was it? Command & Conquer 3? Legacy of Kain or whatever it was called? Man. The 1v1 tournament map. What a time to be alive. Traveler 69 or whatever it was called. Traveler 17 or whatever. Man. Make the special unit that can control buildings, go rush it, go blink in enemy's base, and delete their headquarters so they can't build anything. Man, that was such a time to be alive. That was some good stuff right there, boys. I loved it. Oh, the things, bike rush, all of that. Man, it was great.
You can just have Command & Conquer, and I've got to say that's pretty fantastic, right? And these are so approachable that these actually just seem to be the DRM-free versions from GOG that have been available for years, but of course put onto Steam, where a lot of people actually want to have their games. You don't need to connect to an EA app or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, you can just get them in GOG. It's probably better to do that, but if you want your games in Steam, well, here they are. That's really good. And Command & Conquer is absolutely bloody awesome. Big part of many of our childhoods. Now, this was shadow dropped on Friday the 8th of March, and that's actually rather impactful. So on Steam, you will see the likes of New and Noteworthy, right? So New and Noteworthy is essentially chronological, and it's also somewhere where you actually get a hell of a lot of visibility for your game. It plays a fairly major part in the first few days, and the first few days of performance for your game are absolutely crucial. You'll therefore see that many indies, many who don't have super large marketing budgets, they will release their game on a Friday, because that basically means you're sort of steering clear, ideally, of the games that have came out through the week. A lot of games don't come out on the weekend for fairly obvious reasons, so if you release on Friday, that ends up making a lot of sense. That is, in fact, when we released Pale Beyond. That's when our publisher decided to release it. They gave us, this sort of their reasoning.
Huh, interesting. I would have just assumed that it's best to release the small title on a Friday because people get bored and they're looking for something new. And if they're staying at home for, Friday, Sunday, and Saturday, that, it makes sense that way. But okay.
And, their experience doing that with numerous titles, and it made complete sense. So here's a case where we're going to get into this, an indie game called Potions, A Curious Tale. Well, it kind of got wiped off the board, and this is a game that Renee here had spent 10 years making. Now that sucks for fairly obvious reasons, right? You're just going to be losing loads of Steam traffic, like as they post here. Here's the section, and it is just Electronic Arts, and that's not great, right? That's really going to suck. Now, when you're an indie,
I mean, yeah, but what are they supposed? Yeah. Sucks to not be one of these. What else do you exactly expect? I don't understand this. People have gotten so fucking ridiculously and disgustingly weak. What is EA supposed to do? Ask every indie developer company in the world to, when would be a good time for EA to release this? No, of course not. That's fucking stupid. So, I mean, yeah, not cool, probably. Everyone in the indie section probably hates this, but at the same time, it's like, again, they just do what they feel like they want to do. EA probably doesn't give a shit too much about the indie section or whatever, honestly. They probably are not even looking at it like they care. EA is a juggernaut, okay? They probably have absolutely not even considered any indie anything. They just did it, and this is how Steam works, so it kind of is what it is.
And you don't have a big marketing spend, you do just sort of have to rely on the likes of new and trending, which itself is essentially a chronological thing. Now, in this case, the dev themselves acknowledge that this is just really bad luck. She's not saying that this is EA's fault, that they, meaningfully, were out to get her, which, is obviously not the case. This is just really rough timing. Of course.
God, you know what? I fucking hate these people. I really hate these people. These people are fucking walking billboards again. Why the government should take over your lives and tell you fucking what to eat, when to eat, and how to fucking eat it. Because, like if you get pissed about this, that, oh no, everyone in the world did not consider my feelings, then you know what? Rope yourself. God, I hate you. You're so weak, you're so stupid, you're so incompetent, you're so trash. You don't deserve to exist.
Of course, though, there's maybe a little bit of a silver lining here, which is there was quite a lot of news around this. It exploded pretty big on Twitter, got some headlines across the gaming press that likely will have led to just a bit more awareness and support.
The game looks like shit. Also, if it took 10 years in the making, I don't care. Look at this garbage dumpster fire. I literally could not care less
for the game, which, is a little bit, I suppose, of the universe correcting itself. Now, that being said, it does seem that there are more kind of like EA collections of games coming out, so I suppose...
Okay, maybe I like the game. Maybe I like the game. Sphinx Mommy, yes. Maybe I do like the game. Best game ever.
Coming out, so I suppose if you are an indie developer, well, watch out. EA may just bury you in old games. I mean, at least it seems that people are being buried with really good old games, but still not a fantastic situation. Ultimately then, Potions of Curious Tale is actually sitting right now on a very positive on Steam, so it does seem that things ended
good
up
for
okay.
them, I guess.
Now, where things have ended up, you could say okay for the workers and a bit less okay for some of the leaders is Activision QA unionizing en masse. Generally speaking, QA, they kind of get treated like shit. They're
because they typically are shit.
Treated often like it's a kind of a nearly an unskilled labor sort of situation.
It fucking is most of the time.
Which, it kind of almost, to be honest with you, it does anger me even just as an idea. Some people may say, working at a job site is like a low-skill labor thing. I can certainly say I've been...
No. Most QA is you play shit, you see shit, and then you write, then you comment on it. Find some bugs, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it is a pretty simple job, okay? There are QAs that actually take experience and you need to know what the fuck is going on in a lot of terms, but not the Activision one, okay?
I've been down in a foundation, digging things, and even though somebody may say unskilled, there are people who can dig a goddamn foundation a lot better than other people, right? So, rant aside, QA doesn't really get its due, right? And I mean, indeed, in lots of places, people's roles don't really get their due. If you're a customer, if you're playing a lot of video games...
No, they do. Every place gets their due. If you're good enough, people are gonna value you. If you're a complete eyesore, trash, unlikable, and bad at what you do, people are not gonna like you, okay?
You'll certainly know that QA is important, and you'll probably know because there's lots of bugs in games. And a lot of people will then go and say, oh my god, QA, they didn't even catch this shit. Well, usually what happens...
They probably did. Blizzard just didn't fix it. Again, what's the point of QA at Blizzard if they don't fix things? I don't know.
Happens is, QA does catch it. QA catches a lot of things. The problem usually is the development team being the bottleneck. They just literally don't have the time to fix all the bugs. I mean, look at how half-baked so many modern game releases are. Do you think that those are development teams that have got time to do their jobs properly? I mean, the answer there...
No, those are development teams that are not qualified to do any job properly. They're talentless, skillless hacks that should be fired because they are fucking trash that care about inserting political agendas more than anything else. That is what I think.
There is no. But anyway, QA are often treated pretty replaceable. It's pretty rubbish. Overall, then, what's happened here is an agreement with the CWA, Communication Workers of America, and yeah, it's called Activision Quality Assurance United. They've got 600 members across Texas, California, and Minnesota. Speaking to The Verge, who are the ones who broke this story, Tom...
Oh boy, The Verge.
Shelley, a union organizer, basically said that this came explicitly following Microsoft's acquisition. Here's the quote. "This has been an emergent effort that's arisen in the last few weeks in response to the opportunities we've had to freely organize following the merger." And this is actually the thing. Microsoft had made some public...
By the way, some of you are probably pretty hyped. Oh, the workers are gonna get They're not. They're not. Unions are a scam, okay? So first of all, if you join a union, congratulations. You literally have put yourself on the list of people who are never gonna get a promotion. It's just that simple, boyo. Second of all, now you're probably giving 1% or a fixed sum of money every month to the union. And you know what the union does with that money? Well, the leaders of the union go meet other unions in luxurious places where they can eat expensive food and have fun. And then they go sightseeing and all of that garbage. The only people in unions that gain anything are the people at the top. The average person that joins a union will never see absolutely any benefit in it, only negative things from opportunities taken away from them. Now, there are some good unions. The most prominent example of a good union is in America the what's it called? Trash taker, trash keeper, garbage man union. You know the garbage man union's probably called that one. That one actually worked, but everything else is kind of like a fucking meme. Okay, join a union and see how the people at the top of the union have fun while you're struggling and being fucking mad about nothing going your way. That's the life you chose.
Commitments to, I don't want to say being pro-union, but you know, they were making good public commitments anyway that were kind of widely celebrated as being a major, pretty important company actually taking a good move. Of course, they've said that, and then obviously you've had the layoffs. Could a union prevent a layoff? I mean, maybe, but I think it's more that if a layoff is to happen, in many cases, the employees who are part of a union, they're able to basically get better terms. Right, you know, better terms, sort of, you know, better conditions, that kind of thing. So he goes on to say, as QA workers, we...
Not necessarily at all. The union is essentially just a tool to make deals with the company you work for. Being in a union does not automatically guarantee that you have job security or anything. The union essentially just functions like a mob to a degree. That's the easiest way to explain it. You have a company, you have a union, and if the union encompasses enough people that the company would see problems if all of them, for example, did not show up to work, aka a strike or something like that, well, then the company would be pretty pissed. You know, and they would lose a lot. So that is the power of union. It's essentially just bargaining. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get some kind of magical benefits for getting fired or whatever. And keep in mind, if you're in the union and the union says that, yeah, we're on strike now, well, congratulations, you're not getting paid money. And if you need money desperately, you're in the union and you can't just not strike. You can understand how that's supposed to work, right? So, yeah, again, only idiots join unions on average. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm done with this. That was Bellier news, and well, the game industry gets worse and worse and worse, but it is what it is. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said Sen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.